Vinted reselling. This trend has blown up massively, especially in the past 6 months. With people claiming they're making thousands a month from this side hustle, it is something that everyone should be looking to, especially in this cost of living crisis. I started Vinted reselling around 6 months ago and I've seen massive success. From me only spending from 10 minutes to an hour a day, I was making hundreds of profit a week as a side hustle. Now I've started scaling this up recently and I'm picking up 5 to 10 items a day, which I'm doubling my money on every single item. So here is 5 must-know tips from an experienced Vinted reseller to ensure that you are doing the exact same thing and making money this Christmas. If you don't know what Vinted reselling is, it's buying items of clothing or shoes or accessories for one price and reselling it on Vinted for a profit. Now with Vinted being the leading platform for second-hand clothing at the moment, it's definitely an app and a side hustle you want to hop into. I mean, this is literally overtaken eBay, StockX, Lace, Depop, all in the space of 1 year. And think of it, your friends have got an item to sell, what do? They put it on Vinted straight away. So this opened up Vinted reselling. You can buy on Vinted for one price and sell on Vinted for a lot more money with these tips and tricks. So let's get into tip number 1. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kai. Subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. All of your support. If you like today's video, comment down below, subscribe, or if you watch to the end, I appreciate every single one of you. So tip number 1, let's start simple and talk about getting your products. First things first, when you head over to the Vinted app, you're going to set the filters that you want to look for. First things first is picking the product. What do you want to resell? What do you want to make money on? And trust me, you can make money on anything on Vinted. I have an interest in streetwear. I come from a streetwear background. I love my shoes. I love my streetwear like Supreme, Palace, Cortez, Stussy, Ralph Lauren, all these sort of items I have a passion and interest in. So this is what I predominantly do my Vinted reselling on. But if you have knowledge on football boots or trainers or Ralph Lauren, brands like this that you know that you can make money on and know what price to buy in, you can use this as well. So first thing we'll do when you go on the Vinted app is set your filters. The brand, type of clothing you want to look for, the price limit, and this is the most important one. You see that sort by button? Change that to newest. You don't want the most relevant ones, you want the new posts that people are doing. That way, you're going to be first on seeing what items are being posted. Now, whenever you're free, if you've got a free half an hour, free hour, or a bit of time in the evening, be refreshing this as much as you can. Even if you don't cop anything, you're gaining the knowledge of what people are listing at, you know what prices you can sell at, you can look at the sold listings and so on. So for example, I know if I can pick up a Stussy, Cortez, Supreme, Palace t-shirt for around the £15 mark with some nice photos and a good explanation and with a good listing, I know I can move this for between 25 and 35 with sometimes £50 if it's a good one. So that is tip number 1. Make sure you have the right filters and you know what you're looking for. Step number 2, once you have this stock, let's make good quality listings. I have bought items on Vinted, and this is no word of a lie, that have been on Vinted for months. I have bought it not even at a cheaper price than was listed, just straight up bought it, got the item in, ironed it, made it look nice, good lighting, good photos, good listing, good title, good description, everything, and I've sold it for double its price. So when you get the item in, firstly, give it a good iron or buy yourself a portable steam if you're lazy like me. This will get all the creases out and make the item look so much nicer. Next up, lighting. If you've got natural lighting from windows and so on, this is perfect because natural lighting beats all. Or you can buy a nice studio light, which usually costs you between 20 and 30 pounds. Nice white light is all you need, and place this item on a clean, solid background. Whether this is a kitchen tabletop or a nice clean laminate floor, or you can actually buy a nice big white sheet that you can put your items on so it gives it that nice professional look. When you're taking the photos, I aim for around 6 to 12 photos depending on the condition. This includes the front of the item, the back of the item, the logo, and close-up defects of that item. If there's a little rip, I will put it in the photos. Next up, your title. The amount of times I just see Supreme t-shirt. What's that telling someone? I want to see the full listing of that title. So what Supreme t-shirt is it? What color is it? If you know what week it was dropped, everything. So put it in that title so it makes it look clean and high quality. Your description. Everything you put in the title, also put in the description, sizes, all of that sort of good stuff. But also mention any discoloration, any defects, any rips. Put it in the description. Trust me, it will save a lot of hassle in the future because you will get them people who try to complain to you about one little pea-sized rip if you have not put it in the description. Another little tip and trick that I don't see a lot of people do is putting your measurements inside this listing. This way, no one can complain if something doesn't fit them because you have put the measurements in there. For example, a t-shirt or a polo shirt, you do the width, you do the collar size, you do the length, everything like that. Put their measurements down. You can even put the photos with the tape measure against it so people can't complain. With all these tips from the listings, trust me, this will make your listing look so much nicer, a lot more visually appealing, and therefore driving a lot more purchase decisions. It's all about consumer behavior. If they see a nice quality listing listing, they're going to pick this over a crinkly old top with bad lighting. Trust me, this will quadruple your chances of someone buying if you have a good quality listing. I mean, I'm not joking. I've literally sold the exact same item for £30 more than someone just because my listing looks nicer. Tip number 3, avoid buying from suppliers. I'm probably going to get a bit of hate for this, but I really don't recommend buying from these suppliers that you see on TikTok and so on. In my opinion, it's just one big pyramid scheme. They are buying it off one supplier and selling it for more. It's basically just a game of who's got the best marketing at that point. It might seem like a good deal getting a bale in full of streetwear t-shirts, but they've also bought it from someone else for a lot cheaper and making money on it. It just limits you in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, there are some good suppliers out there, but I've never found them off these apps like TikTok and marketing strategies on Facebook and so on. I've only found good suppliers through word of mouth, which you will get through just more experience from talking to people and so on, networking, but it's something you don't want to focus on when you start out. If you're looking on Vinted and you feel like you're still limited because you're missing out on the good steals and so on, there is an alternative, and this is a Vinted monitor. Now, a couple places do Vinted monitors. I myself have a group where we also have a Vinted monitor. I mean, we are the cheapest option out there and possibly the most high quality. And what that essentially does is we set filters, and we actually have an option for you to set your own filters inside the group if you are in KaiKicks Apprentice, which is my group. But basically, we'll notify you when anything new is listed. So for example, we have a channel for Supreme Cortez Palace t-shirts for under £15. So everything that's uploaded for under £15, I know I can make money on, and you'll get notified directly and straight away so you can buy before anyone else does see it. Not only that, if you have your own preferences, we will set a custom channel just for you and literally only for you to see, so you get notified for the prices and brands that you want to see, which you can then buy and make money on. We have over 300 people using this Vinted monitor, and there's literally hundreds of listings a day. I spent half an hour on it the other day and bought 20 items that I know I can double my money on every single one. So trust me, it's a good way of buying. Now, I'm not here just to talk about my group, but if you did want to join, I will leave a little discount code so you can join for only £10 in your first month, and you'll get full access for all of the Vinted monitor features. We also have an auto buy feature, so you can press one button and it will buy it for you. But yeah, that's tip number 3 for you. If you are struggling to find your stock, Vinted monitor is the best way to go about it. Tip number 4, and this is legit checking. Now, I won't talk too much about this, but a lot of people are scared to buy items because they're scared they're not authentic. So here's some tips and tricks for you to make sure you don't get scammed. Ooh. No. So first things first is seller reviews. If the person's got loads of reviews, you're usually not, well, I'm not going to say you're 100% safe, but it's a good indication that they are legit. Another way is asking for proof of buying. So if it's an item like Supreme, they would have an order confirmation somewhere, but don't worry if they don't have it, because it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean it's fake, because like everyone does, they throw away or they delete these emails. Next up is checking the stitching and inside labels. You can compare them just by Googling. If you type in Supreme t-shirt label, you can compare that label to other ones. You can always ask for more photos. And lastly, you can actually pay for a legit check. There is a legit check authenticator app that I will pop up on screen for you, where you can pay, I think it's about £1.50. You just send the photos in and you can get it checked. If you're not experienced, this is usually worth doing. It doesn't really eat into your profits too much. And finally, my biggest tip for legit checking is once you get the item, Vinted actually give you 48 hours to report any problems. So as long as you do your legit checks once you get in hand and it's in the first 48 hours, if you then find out it's fake, you can create a case on Vinted only in the first 48 hours. And if you basically say the item is fake, you'll get a label back and you return the item and get all of your money back. So it's essentially risk-free. Vinted are really good at accepting all of these, so if you do think it's fake, you can return it and get your money back. Just make sure it's in that first 48 hours. The amount of times I've forgotten to do it in the 48 hours and end up having a fake item I have to put in the bin or burn, I don't want to talk about. Tip number 5, and your last tip for today's video, is list on multiple platforms. Yes, Vinted is your best place to buy, but also when you're relisting, do it on Vinted, do it on eBay, do it on Depop. This is going to triple your chances just from listing it in multiple places. If you've taken the photos, why not listing on all these platforms? Trust me, Vinted you'll sell the most on, but sometimes I get the occasional sale on Depop, occasional sale on eBay, and it's just going to really help you move items quickly. This has been something that I've been doing a lot more recently, and my sales have gone up massively. And that's it. That's how you become a pro Vinted reseller. Remember, if you want that Vinted monitor, £10 for your first month, use that discount code down in the description. It will be top link in the description for you. Subscribe to the channel, like today's video, let me know what you guys think. Any questions, drop in the comments. Any videos you want to see, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.